So we're out here on site once again with Greg from SEK Surebond, looking at one of my favorite hardscape applications, my patent 2-finger joint flagstone. In this application, we're going to keep this permeable, and we're going to be using SEK's perm chips.
And we're going to use the stabilizer today to lock them in place while still maintaining the permeability. On this application, I'm literally going to dump it right into the joints, and then we'll sweep it after the fact. Whether we're doing a flagstone joint like this with a 2-finger joint or a permeable paver, we still have to sweep it in. Just like all of our other jointing materials, we want to make sure our finished product is compacted, swept off the surface, and a minimum of an 1/8 inch down in the joint. The next step is to blow off the chips off the surface, and then we're going to move right into the compaction, which is the next step. It's important to compact any jointing material that we're putting in. All we're doing is consolidating the chips so they help lock themselves into place and also help to set that height elevation that is a minimum of an 1/8 inch down in the joint. Now that we've compacted, we want to make sure the surface in the stone is clean. So we're simply going to take a garden hose and rinse this all down. Once that dries, we'll move into the sealing and stabilizing stage of the chips. All right, for perm chip stabilization, we recommend our SB1000 perm chip stabilizer. We're gonna pour it right into our Chapin Model 1949 sprayer, which is the one we recommend for these applications. So I'm gonna walk along with the tank, low pressure. We're gonna just fill those joints. And if I get any on the paver, you can just follow me up with a white, wet rag and just immediately wipe it off. It's a water-based sealer, so if I catch it right away, we can get it cleaned up with the rag and we'll just outline every joint. It actually goes faster than you would think. It's a pretty quick process, and
okay,
we'll move forward.
Is there any sort of setting you're putting on there, or are you just pumping in a certain amount, or?
Just pump it up, and you control it all with the trigger on the sprayer. If this is your first time doing it, in order to gauge that you're putting down enough sealer, you can just dig a hole into the joint and you'll be able to see the sealer coated on all the stones top to bottom. And then you can just tap that stone back into place, and that will help you gauge how much more or less sealer to put down as you're moving along.
So I decided to use the Eclipse Black because I wanted to really enhance these joints and make this red color pop out of the flagstone. Are there any colors that we can get into, Greg?
There is. There's actually 2 more colors. There's Saturn Tan, which is naturally a tan color, and there's Stormy Gray, which is a little bit more gray than the black. So those are the 3 available colors.
All right, so we're up here in front. This was a phase 1 that took place 3 years ago, and I love how pristine these joints still look. They look loose, but they are solid and hardened together. And Greg's gonna show us how they still just take on all that water that would hit this. So one reason I like to make my joints permeable in the flagstone application is because you can see there's some nooks and there's some crannies on these each individual stone. Well, now the water can just run off and it doesn't get trapped in the joint. It actually drains through the joint because this is a natural stone. So as much as we get it flush with each other, there still are some that are diving or have these low spots, but all that water can just run now into this joint. It has a place to go instead of off the sides.
Hey everyone, quick reminder, check out our free joint material selection tool at hardscapementor.com. Just fill in your project specs and we'll tell you exactly which joint materials will work best.